We all know that Labour only looks at foreign policy through the prism of domestic politics. And in Albanese's case, this is exactly what happens when you pluck somebody out of a grubby Newtown share house where he lived during university and drop him in the lodge. And that's what we have right now. This was why suddenly nobody asked for this, but apparently we're getting 3,000 Gazan refugees put into our suburbs. Okay, great, thank you, well done for that. That's why, of course, he's been so cozy with China, because, it's so much better to do business with those nice Chinese Communist Party officials rather than mean old Donald Trump, right? And of course, this is why he's not spending any money on defense. This is why he's recognizing Palestine. The United States now has a laundry list, I think, of grievances, legitimate grievances, not just those things. I would also add Australia's rampant attack on free speech through the e-safety commissioner and the censorship of the web and social media that's coming up soon. These are all things that the U.S. quite rightly cares about. These are things that quite rightly Donald Trump cares about. These are things, particularly free speech, that Vice President J.D. Vance has been really, really articulate on. And now Albanese is off to the United States. He's got an 11-day trip, 3 countries. Is he going to get a meeting with Trump? Well, now apparently it's been downgraded to a possible pull-aside.
A what?
It's going to be Donald saying, Albo, I don't like this very much. Yeah.
Well, Albo, there's plenty that Trump can attack. Remember when the South African president was there in the Oval Office?
Ramaphosa.
And Trump just tore strips off him. That would be nothing if Albo was sitting in the Oval Office. There are so many things that Donald Trump would want to tear strips of him. At the moment, he barely knows who Albo is, which is lucky for Albo, because once Trump starts focusing on this, so we've seen the letter. James broke the story in the Daily Telegraph yesterday about this letter. Let me just add on the question of recognition of Palestine by the Australian government. We had some terrific speeches here yesterday at CPAC, some wonderful speeches, many of them, and some of those guests will be coming on shortly. But one thing I don't know if you all noticed, Senator Jacinta Price, when she spoke, the first thing she did was refer to the hostages and pay her respects to and bring to mind the hostages who are still suffering, who Hamas are threatening to put on as human shields. Imagine the sheer horror, the depravity, the sheer evil of taking people who you took hostage, probably murdered, raped, whatever, their loved ones. They're now hostages. They're living in absolute hell. They've been living in hell for 2 years underground in those ghastly things. We've seen the photos, the videos, so sick, so depraved, so absolutely vile. You can't even call it human the way they are being treated. And yet these are the same people that want a Palestine. They're doing everything for their precious political goal. And you have the Australian government supporting and rewarding them at the same time as Hamas are threatening to put the hostages out the front as human shields. Absolutely sick. Well done to Senator Price for actually reminding us all, and every Australian should be thinking, every civilized person should be remembering those hostages, and that should be front and mind. And the disgrace of an Australian government running off with all their globalist mates, their grubby globalist mates over in Geneva or wherever in New York to pay a reward to terrorism, which is what it is.